All right. So I'm not seeing many other questions. I will keep this video up, and like I said, I'll pop on tomorrow. I'll pop on throughout the week. We don't have much time left, so I'll get on here as much as I can. And like I said, guys, this doesn't have to be as dirty as it's gotten. We don't need to be online attacking people, disrespecting people, reaching out to people's families. That's not how it works. That's never how I intended to run my campaign, and I would never want any of you guys who are my supporters to go out and do the same. You may be seeing it now. Just know that you can't entertain everything you see. If you know it not to be true, you just got to ignore it. And I know it's hard. There are times that I have, entertained it when I shouldn't have. So I see what will be done about the water problem in Gardner. The water problem has been here for many, many years. It's not talked about much. I assume there's a lot of red tape around that. There are a lot of things that we cannot answer right now unless we're actually sitting there with all the information we need to be able to answer that question. But we can look at it and see what's going on at the very least. But there is no promise to fix it because we don't know if we can fix it. But we will look at that. Right. There is a lawsuit, so they can't talk about it. And I'm not going to make assumptions. All I can say is that we'll look at it. All right, guys, these messages. The most important thing to me is transparency, guys. And I know a lot of people have been, there's a lot of things we don't know about. We make assumptions. They're not always true. But it shouldn't be that way. We should know where money goes to. We have people continuing to ask about the $550K. We don't know where that is. We should know. The transparency is just not there. What it's supposed to be for. All right, guys, if you have any other questions, go ahead and ask them in the comment section. If I'm not seeing your comments, so they're not coming in order, I see that. I'm sorry, guys, I'm doing the best. Facebook is not... And Facebook has been a little bit weird today. But I do know people are very interested in businesses coming to Gardner, job opportunities, different businesses, reaching out to businesses that we feel our residents would be interested in. That's something we've talked about. Transparency, I just don't see it, guys. And I know some may disagree with me, but there's just a lot of questions. City meetings, they don't really feel, you can't talk, you can't ask questions. It's just, everything feels so secretive in Gardner, and it's just not a good feeling. So I will jump on a couple more times tonight. I know football is on today, so I knew that the reach wouldn't be that great. And I know a lot of people jump on here and they make comments about me saying that I'll look into something. There are some things we truly can only look into. I cannot sit here and tell you something that's not true. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make false promises. If it's something we need to look into, we'll look into it. And that's something I've seen around online on many of the groups. She's going to look into it. Yeah, some things I can really only look into. Some questions I cannot fully answer as good as someone who is the current mayor can answer. There's really not much I can do about that. And like I said, this is a public group. It's open to anyone. And you can come in this group. You can watch the videos, share the videos. We're just absolutely not going to allow anybody to come in here and attack other members or be disrespectful. We're all adults and we need to act like it. And we've not been. Facebook has been nothing but the land of misinformation, just a bunch of negative. I'm not into it. And I'm not going to sit here and try to be someone that I'm not. That's just not who I am. And like I said, if I want something, I'm going to fight for it. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop me. And it's just who I am. And yes, I do help people. And some people say you are a good person, but that's not enough. But I feel that's what's most important. You guys, if you have any questions and you're not getting an answer, just know that I'm only seeing what's showing up on my end. And like I said, in my group, the private group, anybody's able to join that group as well. You just got to be respectful. That's all I'm asking. Small businesses should always have recognition. You're correct, Shelly. All right, guys, if you have any more questions for me, I'll answer them. If not, I will jump back on tomorrow. I will keep it on this private. I'd like to have a clothing store for women that's mid-priced. Please put that in your list of businesses to bring downtown Gardner. Also, a bookstore with a cafe. And that's what we want to do. We want to get suggestions from people like, what would you like to see in Gardner? We can always reach out to businesses and ask them to come here. We don't just sit there and wait for whoever wants to come. We need to be out there actively searching for businesses that we want here. And then I had someone ask me the other night, what do you know about grants? So if you've ever worked with a nonprofit, you know that it's all about grants. That's how they get their money. That's how they operate. You have to be able to write. I would love a bookstore. I would love to open. Sorry, guys, I go back and forth. That's something I need to work on. Reading a comment, stopping, not fully answering someone's question. I know I have Miss Kamuta in here. She's jumping around again. She said, Yeah, and it doesn't hurt to reach out to the public, ask them for their input, ask them what they want to see. I mean, if you're working for the people, you truly have to be working for the people. And it's important to have that input. It's important to be transparent. And it's important to care about everyone who lives here. And I'm not saying that anybody has to, I've never once, and I've heard someone mention this before, I've never once asked our mayor to reach in his pocket and pull out money to help those who are homeless in Gardner. I've never asked of that. But if I, a mother at home with her kids, is able to take time out of her life just to walk up to someone and give them my cell phone and show them what services are out there to get them out of the situation that they're in. If I can do that, someone with way more resources and contacts can do that too. And that's all I've ever said. A bookstore cafe would be great. I would love a bookstore cafe. All right, guys, like I said, I will be back tomorrow. If you don't have any more questions for me, I will be back tomorrow if you think of anything more. We'll keep this video private. We'll post it everywhere so everybody can pick it apart. Have you reached out to John Bombachi of Candor Realty, who has bought up a lot of buildings downtown? Carolyn, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he wants to talk to me. And that's okay. I would like to know what his plans are. And if he would like to reach out to me, he can reach out to me. And just so people understand, and I see my supporters ask a lot of questions about this, Candor Realty has bought up a lot of the businesses you see downtown. It is better to have someone buy those buildings than to just have them empty and they're not really doing anything. I think what most people were concerned with is the amount of buildings that they bought up, and nobody can really speculate. I do see people sending me questions in Messenger. However, if I go in Messenger right now, it'll kick me out of the video. If you can ask me in the comments section, that would be great. It's easier for me to keep track that way. But like I said, tonight I wanted to come on and address the biggest thing that I've seen online. There was actually an article written about it too. My kids' bingo. And like I said from the very beginning that I would still try and conduct my events that I've done before. However, I now have a campaign I need to focus on, and we'll try to combine the two. I'm just not sure what that's going to look like. So I did host my kids' bingo because that's something I've done in the past, even before I came to Gardner. And it was something that people had asked for in the summer. So I very much wanted to host that for people. What we ended up doing is, some people say it's not smart, but we ended up just giving toys to everyone who came there. These are little kids. We didn't want anyone going home upset. We ended up losing money rather than making any money. And we were found out, because we are newbies, that you can't fundraise for your campaign with a game of chance. And that was new to us. But you know, a lot of people made it sound like it was something nefarious was going on and we did something, you know, it's just, it wasn't true, guys. And I've had asked people, have asked me, you know, can you continue to do events? I'm not going to do that right now. There's just too many people looking to weaponize any events that I do, any charitable efforts. It's just, it's not worth it for me to put the people that work with me through that anymore. I'm running for mayor. And like I said, I would ask you guys not to do this. You see it online. Don't give it any energy. And I'm going to ask you not to attack my opponent's, you know, family, or just don't do it. We have 15 days left. And like I told you guys, if you are interested in a change and you want that change, then I will be your mayor. If you don't and you're happy with everything that's going on right now, you'll vote for our current mayor and he will continue to be mayor. I'm just another option for you guys. Carolyn, I did post an outline of what I wanted to do in the first 100 days. So in the first 100 days, I wanted to speak to housing engineers. I wanted to look up and possibly be able to, like I stated earlier in this video, to see what properties were available and to see if we could truly come up with some affordable housing. There has been people who've asked me where it will be, what buildings I'll use. We don't know that yet. I mean, it's super important to find out what buildings you can use, and if there's any legalities surrounding that land or property, because we know what happens when we don't do that. Yeah, we're ignoring the negative. I mean, I'm not going to please everyone. Not everybody's going to be happy with me. And that's just something, you learn to live with. I didn't come on hoping to change anybody's mind. If you're happy where Gardner is at right now, then good for you. I respect that. And you'll vote for who you want to vote for on November 7th. If you'd like to see a change and you're like-minded like myself, then you'll vote for me November 7th. However, I'm not going to fight with people or, attack people in hopes that that's going to get me votes November 7th, because that's just not who I am. And after this, if I do not become mayor, I'm still going to be the same person doing the same things I was before. I was comfortable. I was happy with my life before then. I didn't run for mayor because I wanted more money. No one cares about that part. I mean, after going through all this, I don't think there's any amount of money that is worth everything I went through. But I am truly here just for change. And if you guys want a change, we are two very different people, and that's obvious. All right, unless there's anything else you guys want to ask me, I'm going to jump off. And I will jump back on tomorrow. It'll be about 5 o'clock. I'll try to do that a couple more times before the 15th. And I'll just pop on randomly. Any more questions, guys? And like I stated, you guys, please just try to ignore the noise. This is Facebook. People can say whatever they want. It doesn't have to be true. They can say whatever they want, plant seeds of doubt. It's not important. And those people who have said things that, have been very nasty, at the end of the day, if I were to become mayor, I'd be working for them too. No hard feelings. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off. I see 35 people on. I'm going to jump off, leave this video up there. If you guys want to ask some questions in the comment section when I come back live tomorrow, I will get more in depth. And you guys can ask me, the questions that you've been wanting to ask me. I'm not seeing many people on here, and that could be due to football. But like I said, if you have any questions, I'll jump back on tomorrow and we will answer those questions. Any events that I have going on or that I'm trying to help other people advertise, they'll be posted in my group. I'll post them in this group as well. And I also want to apologize for not coming live on Friday or Saturday. Saturday I had an event that took a lot longer than expected. I would have gotten on super late. I don't think anybody would have been on at that time. All right, guys. I will come on earlier tomorrow. We can get more in-depth with questions. You guys can ask me what you want to ask me. Write down some questions so when you get on, I know when you're here and you forget the questions that you want to ask, but I'd be happy to answer them tomorrow if you have any more questions. Like I said, we have 15 days before the general election. At this point, it's crunch time. So we will be pushing to get our message out there. A lot of things we do are behind the scenes, not online. Unfortunately, not everybody has Facebook. All right, guys, I want to thank you for watching. I also want to thank my advisors for watching. There we go again. Was supposed to not be in our videos tonight. And it's hard to keep up with the questions and not want to answer everybody's questions at the same time. Have a good night and vote for Carolyn for City Council. Yes, Eric. Carolyn Kamuta for City Councilor. All right, guys, you have a good night. I'll jump back on tomorrow at 5 p.m. I will be in this group so that you guys can share this publicly. And I will also post it in my private group as well. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good night.